Imagine something about to happen, something so significant, so profound that it can transform everything we know. You sense it. It's not paranoia. It's not an exaggeration. It's like a whisper deep within you. An insistent echo that cannot be ignored. The world is changing, not because we want to, but because we need to, and at the center of this turmoil is a truth that many are afraid to face. We are heading towards a point of no return. The apparitions of Our Lady in Medjugorje are not just stories to inspire faith, they are a warning. For decades, the secrets entrusted to a select group of seers have provoked unanswered questions, fear, and fascination. Now, everything is about to begin. We are not talking about legends or theories, but about something concrete, imminent, and that can shake the foundations of everything you hold dear. Are you prepared for the impact? There are signs everywhere, wars that divide nations, natural disasters that give no respite, the human heart more hardened than ever. We are bombarded by chaos and despair, and yet we choose to look away, pretending that everything is fine. But it is not. We can no longer ignore it. The first secret of Medjugorje may be revealed soon, and when that happens, there will be no turning back. The messages of the Virgin Mary, Saint Clare's time, are running out. This is not just any warning. It is not something you can postpone. It is an urgent call, a summons to look at the world with different eyes. It is no coincidence that you are here reading this now. There is a purpose, and it is directly linked to what you will hear. When the first secret is revealed, it will not just be news in a newspaper. It will be an event that will mark history, an event that can change your life forever. Imagine a scenario where everything you know is shaken to its core, where the security you feel today becomes a distant memory. It is not a fictional tale, it is a lurking reality, and even scarier, we are not ready. You, me, no one is. That is exactly what makes this moment so crucial. It is not about living in fear, but about recognizing the gravity of what is before us. To ignore this call is to close your eyes to what could be your last chance for change. This is not just about the secrets of Medjugorje, it is about you, about how you will react to what you are about to discover. Because when words become action, there will be no room for doubt. The world will be faced with something it has never seen before. The question is not whether you believe, the question is what will you do when there is no more time. If you think it does not matter, think again. Every second counts, every minute that passes, history is being written, and you are part of it. Stay until the end, otherwise you will be closing your eyes to something that can change everything. The year was 1981. In a small village in the former Yugoslavia, something extraordinary happened. Medjugorje, a humble and peaceful village, was suddenly thrown into the global spotlight. 6 ordinary young people began to report something that seemed impossible: daily apparitions of the Virgin Mary. It was not a distant, mystical, or nebulous vision, it was a real, living presence that talked to them, that they called by name. No matter how much the world tried to discredit their stories, Something about the accounts could not be easily ignored. Every word, every description, every emotion conveyed by the visionaries seemed too authentic to be simply dismissed. And the more time passed, the more people turned to Medjugorje in search of answers, consolation, and a greater sense of meaning. But these apparitions were not just messages of comfort. From the beginning, they came loaded with a unique weight. Secrets, 10 secrets to be exact, entrusted only to the visionaries, with specific instructions on when and how they would be revealed, secrets that were said to bring profound changes for the entire world. What makes these apparitions so intriguing is not only the content of the messages, but what they represent. For more than 4 decades, they have withstood the test of time, criticism, and even the skepticism of many in the Church that initially viewed the events with suspicion. The Church gradually began to approach, recognizing something there that could not be easily explained. And in the meantime, the seers maintained their mission. 3 of them have already received all 10 secrets. Others are still waiting, but it is Medjugorje who carries the greatest responsibility. She is in charge of revealing the secrets to the world, one by one, alongside Friar Peter Ljubicic. These messages are not about fear, but about preparation. They are not about condemnation, but about transformation. They speak of a time of grace, of conversion, but also warn about the consequences of a humanity that refuses to listen. The silence of many is deafening. The apparitions of Medjugorje are not an isolated event. They are part of a larger pattern, a call that has echoed for centuries, since Fatima, Lourdes, and so many other places. But what makes Medjugorje unique is the promise that these secrets are not just distant prophecies. They are at the door, and the first secret, according to many, may be revealed soon. When this happens, it will be like a spiritual earthquake, shaking those who believe and those who do not, because truth has this unique characteristic. It does not need your acceptance to exist. So, what will you do with this information? Ignore, question, or prepare? Because Medjugorje is not just about a village or some seers. It is about us. About how we choose to live. About what we choose to believe. And about what we are willing to do. If you think you can wait, you are wrong. Time waits for no one. The apparitions have been telling us this for decades, and now more than ever, we need to hear it. From the beginning, the apparitions of Medjugorje carry something that cannot be ignored: mystery, not just any mystery, but one that is wrapped in words that can shape the world. The 10 secrets given to the seers are not vague stories or symbolic allegories. They are promises, concrete events that are coming, and each one of them carries a weight that, when revealed, could shake everything we know. Imagine living knowing something that the rest of the world doesn't know. That is what the seers face every day. Medjugorje has already stated that she knows exactly what each secret means, when it will be carried out, and what impact it will have. However, there is one detail that makes everything even more fascinating. She cannot simply share them, not now. The right time is crucial, and only she can determine when the world will be ready to listen. But why would secrets, a message from God, come with so much mystery and expectation. Because the world is not ready. Because hearing the truth demands more than curiosity. It requires courage, and courage is something that few have when faced with the unknown. The first secret, according to reports, will be something of regional scale, but with global implications. A specific region of the world will be irreversibly transformed as a signal to all others. It will not just be a warning, it will be an event that will mark the beginning of a new phase for humanity, and when that happens, it will be impossible to look the other way. What is most frightening about the secrets of Medjugorje is not what we know, it is what we do not know. We know that they exist, we know that they are real for those who receive them. We know that these are events destined to happen, whether we believe it or not. But what they represent for the entire world. Are we talking about climate change, wars, spiritual catastrophes, or something beyond any imagination? And another aspect that forces us to pay attention to time, these secrets are not about a distant and nebulous future. They are about a future that is getting closer and closer with each appearance. Each message is a reminder that the clock is ticking, and humanity needs to wake up. There is an emotional weight in knowing that something is coming. It is not just the anxiety of the unknown, but the collective guilt of a humanity that continues to ignore the signs. Mirjana has said in her visions that people will tear their hair out in despair, cursing a past life lived without God. These words are a brutal warning, a mirror of what is to come if we do not change our actions. We cannot underestimate what is happening. This series of prophetic events is far beyond human control, but how we respond to them is in our hands. Our Lady has said this repeatedly. This is a time of grace, a time of conversion. It is not too late, but we do not have all the time in the world. When Friar Peter announces the first secret, the impact will be devastating for many, not because it will be a surprise, but because it will be the confirmation of something that many would rather not believe. And when that happens, will you be prepared to hear it, or will it be too late? This is the time to reflect, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because the secrets of Medjugorje are not just a story of faith, they are a clear and unchanging warning that great changes are coming, and what you do today could determine how you face what is to come. There is something deeply unsettling in the silence it carries. It evokes a weight, an expectation, an omen. And that is exactly what involves the secrets of Medjugorje. It is not just what was said, but what is yet to be said. It is not just what we know, but what remains unknown. Those who live these events carry a weight, not because Mirjana is tasked with revealing the secrets to the world, but because, according to reports, she and the other seers have become increasingly reserved in recent years, as if they were preparing for something bigger, something that cannot be ignored. This choice of silence is revealing. It is not omission, it is not passivity, it is strategy. It is the understanding that some truths need to be protected until the right moment, and when that moment comes, the words will have a weight that the whole world will feel. Think for a moment what it means to know that devastating events can happen, that profound changes can shake everything we know. It is knowing that on a certain day and time, history will take a different course. And then imagine having to keep this knowledge, without being able to share it, without being able to lighten the weight of it. This is what the seers carry, but their silence is not empty, it is full of meaning. With each appearance, with each message, they are reminded that time is running out. What makes this story so powerful is that we are not just dealing with predictions or conjecture, we are dealing with a concrete timeline already set, just waiting to be revealed. And here is the thing, their silence is not just a warning to themselves, it is a reminder to us that while we wait, we must prepare ourselves, because when the silence is broken, it will be too late to act. Friar Peter, who will be responsible for announcing the secrets to the world, also lives on this threshold between the known and the unknown. He has already declared that he will only be able to read one secret at a time, a few days before its completion. This means that even he, who carries one of the most important missions, will only know enough to fulfill his part. The mystery remains until the last moment, as if it were a way of guaranteeing that no one can manipulate or divert the original purpose. This silence also challenges us to listen, not only with our ears, but with our hearts, with our conscience. It is easy to ignore a warning when it is distant, but when the silence turns into words, and those words become action, the truth becomes impossible to deny. And what will we do when that moment comes? Will we continue to live as if nothing has changed, or will we finally recognize that we are being called to something greater? Because the silence is telling us something right now, it is telling us to pay attention, to prepare ourselves, to become better before time runs out. What is coming will not be easy to face. It will not be something we can simply ignore or forget. But what we know for sure is that the silence will be broken, and when it does, the world will never be the same again. We are on the brink of something we cannot fully comprehend. But one thing is clear, we can no longer ignore the silence. It is calling us, it is warning us, and it is telling us that the time to act is now. When the silence finally gives way to words that will echo around the world, they will not be just words. They will be like thunder, like a clarion call in a silent night, calling humanity to face what it has avoided for so long, the truth. And this truth, however uncomfortable it may be, is inevitable. The first secret of Medjugorje, awaited for decades, will be the turning point. It is not just a warning or an isolated event. It is the beginning of a series of events that will redefine human history. This secret, according to reports, will directly affect a region of the world, but the psychological and spiritual impact will be global. It will be impossible to ignore. It will be an event that forces humanity to look at itself with different eyes, devoid of excuses and denials. But what exactly does this call mean? It does not come just to shake, it comes to correct. It is not destruction for the simple pleasure of punishing, but an act of love so intense that it seems incomprehensible. Our Lady made it clear from the beginning that the secrets are a divine attempt to awaken a sleeping world, to save souls before it is too late. What makes it all even more shocking is the way this is being conducted. There is a set time for each revelation, a space for us to process and react. 10 days before each secret, Mirjana and Friar Peter will enter into deep recollection, fasting and praying intensely. It is during this period that the friar will receive instructions on what should be announced to the world. And 3 days before each event, humanity will finally know what is coming. This structure is not by chance. It is a reminder that even in the most difficult times, there is room for choice, for reflection, for change. But this window is short. 3 days are not enough time for a complete transformation, but they are enough to make a decision, to continue ignoring or finally open your eyes to what really matters. And you, who are here now, reading and listening about this, need to understand, this calling is not for later. It is not for others. It is for you. It is for each one of us. What will you do with the information that is being shared now? Because the first secret is not just about the physical impact or the changes it will bring. It is about the emotional and spiritual impact. It is a mirror that will be held before humanity, reflecting our flaws, our mistakes, and especially our negligence. It is an invitation to correct the course before it is too late. But here is the truth that many do not want to face, many will not listen. Many will continue to live as if nothing was happening, as if these warnings were just scare stories. And when the time comes, they will not be ready. This is the saddest part, not because there was a lack of warnings, but because there was a lack of courage to listen to them. There is still time, but not much. Our Lady did not appear in Medjugorje by chance. Her secrets were not given without purpose. They are proof that heaven still believes in humanity, even when humanity seems to have given up on itself. You are hearing this call now, not because it is a coincidence, but because there is something here for you, something you need to understand, something you need to ask. And the question that remains is what you will do with it. Because the call has already been made, and the silence is about to be broken. When the first secret of Medjugorje is revealed, the world will never be the same again. It will not be just an isolated event, but the beginning of a chain of events that will echo in every corner of the planet. This is not a common warning. It is not something that can be dismissed as a mere coincidence or yet another common catastrophe. It will be a watershed. What we know so far is that the first secret will be regional, directly affecting a specific area of the world, but its psychological and spiritual effects will cross borders and cross continents. Because the true impact is not just in what will happen, but what this will mean. It will be irrefutable evidence that the messages of Medjugorje have always been real, that the secrets are more than distant prophecies, they are concrete promises of transformation. Imagine the shock, the fear, the confusion this will bring to those who have always believed. It will be the confirmation of something they have been waiting for decades. For the skeptics, it will be a hard blow, a truth that can no longer be denied. And for the indifferent, it will be the moment of awakening. Because this event will not ask permission to enter our lives. It will come, and when it arrives, there will be no way to ignore it. Our Lady, when entrusting these secrets to the visionaries, made it clear that they are not punishments, but warnings, warnings that something needs to change, that humanity is on a path that cannot be sustained for long. This first secret, according to Medjugorje, will be a kind of preparation, an initial call, a chance to open eyes before more intense events begin to happen. The parchment that Medjugorje keeps with the 10 secrets written is a powerful symbol of this mission. And when she delivers the first secret to Friar Peter, the world will be in countdown, 10 days of prayer, of reflection, of increasing tension while we prepare for what is to come. These 10 days will not be just a waiting period, they will be a test of faith, courage, and readiness. And then, 3 days before the event, the secret will be announced. It will be a message that no one will be able to ignore. The media, the governments, the ordinary people will all be confronted with the truth. It will not be something that can be swept under the rug or treated as just another sensationalist news item. It will be real, tangible, and its strength will be impossible to contain. The scariest thing is to think about what will come next. Because this is just the beginning. This is only the first of the 10 secrets, and its main function is to prepare humanity. If this first event is ignored, if it is treated with disdain or skepticism, the next secrets will leave no room for doubt. They will come with increasing force, like waves in a rough ocean, each one more powerful than the previous one. But what it means to be prepared is not about stockpiling food or seeking shelter. It is about something much deeper. It is about looking inside yourself, at your choices, your priorities, your faith. It is about asking yourself, am I living the way I should? Am I ready to face what is to come? This first chapter is not just for those who believe, it is for everyone. It is a chapter written by God, a chance to reevaluate our lives before the most intense events begin. This is an act of mercy, but also a reminder that grace is not eternal. When that moment comes, when the first secret is revealed, will you be prepared? Or will you be just another spectator filled with fear and doubt? As the world transforms before your eyes, the impact is coming, and you are part of it, whether you like it or not. When the first secret of Medjugorje is fulfilled, the world will not be the same anymore. It will not be just an event. It will be a turning point in the history of humanity. The days leading up to this moment will be full of tension, and what comes after will mark the beginning of an irreversible transformation, both on the physical and spiritual planes. Our Lady, in the Medjugorje apparitions, was clear about the nature of the secrets. They are not punishments, but opportunities. However, the first secret will not be gentle. It will come like a spiritual earthquake, shaking humanity, forcing it to face its choices, its mistakes, its willful blindness before a world in collapse. It will be impossible to go back to the way things were. The transformation will begin in a specific region, but the echo will be global. Imagine the impact of seeing a part of the world completely changed, not only physically, but in its deepest meaning. The first secret will be a clear sign that something bigger is in motion, something that transcends governments, borders, or science. But the true change will happen in the hearts of people, because this is a call from the divine, deep in human emotions. This moment will also be a watershed, separating those who will choose to awaken from those who will continue in inertia. The 10 days that precede the event will be a time of preparation, but also of proof. The message that Mirjana and Friar Peter will share with the world will be charged with urgency, and many people will face the most difficult choice of their lives: to believe and act, or ignore and suffer the consequences. This seemingly simple choice will carry eternal implications. And then, 3 days before the event, the world will be warned. There will be reactions of all kinds: disbelief, panic, renewed faith. Skeptics will seek scientific explanations, while others will fall to their knees in prayer. Governments, religions, and global leaders will try to control the narrative, but the truth will not be silenced. It will not be manipulated. When the secret is revealed, the impact will be overwhelming. It will not just be about destruction or loss, but about confronting the truth. Humanity will be forced to look at itself and realize how far it has strayed from God, from faith, from the true essence of what it means to be human. This will be a spiritual shock of proportions that we cannot measure, but it will also be an opportunity. The pain and fear will open doors to something greater. For many, it will be the beginning of an internal transformation, a return to prayer, humility, reconnection with the divine. For others, it will be a moment of hardening, of denial, to resist what is clearly before their eyes. This irreversible transformation will not be something we choose, it will be imposed. Because this is the role of the secrets, not to allow us to continue on the same trajectory. They are, in essence, a last act of mercy, an attempt to rescue humanity before time runs out completely. And the most terrifying thing about all this is that the first secret will only be the beginning. It will come to open our eyes and prepare the ground, but the next ones will be even more intense, more profound, more impossible to ignore. Humanity is facing a long journey of change, and this is just the first step. What will come next is unavoidable. Each of us will be called to make a decision, to resist or accept. And when that moment comes, there will be no time for regrets. The transformation will begin with the first secret, but how it will end depends on us. The future is moving. Are you prepared to face it? When the first secret of Medjugorje comes to light, an inevitable split will occur, not just a separation of beliefs, but a rupture at the core of humanity. There will be those who will understand the call as an invitation to change and salvation, while others will choose the path of denial, of resistance, and darkness. This dividing line will not be drawn by human hands, but by the choices that each person will make in the face of truth. The impact of the secret will be inescapable. It will bring fear, chaos, and uncertainty, but also hope for those who see beyond the immediate. Imagine the world in turmoil, explosive headlines, lost leaders, populations divided between panic and the desperate search for answers. In the midst of this scenario, there will be an unshakable truth: the time of spiritual neutrality will be over. This event will not be a question of religion, but of humanity. It will not matter if you believe, or if you follow a specific faith, or none at all. The secret will touch everyone, regardless of their convictions. The biggest challenge will not be understanding what happened, but deciding how to respond to it. Those who accept the call will realize that the secret is more than a warning. It is an opportunity, an invitation to abandon superficiality, to rediscover the essence of life, to live with purpose. It will be a moment of reconciliation with the divine, with others, with yourself. But this choice will require sacrifice, courage, and above all, humility. On the other side of the line will be those who reject all this, some out of fear, others out of pride, others out of pure disbelief. These will choose to cling to the idea that everything can be explained, controlled, rationalized, but what they will find will be empty, because the secret does not bow to human explanations. It is by nature something that transcends. In that growing gap between acceptance and rejection, the world will change. Communities will divide, families will come into conflict, friends will drift apart, not because they want to, but because the impact will be so profound that it will force everyone to take a stand. There will be no more room for indifference, for apathy, for letting go. The time for easy choices will be over. It is scary to think what this means, not only for the world, but for you, for me, for each of us. We are used to living in a reality where spirituality is often secondary, an optional aspect of life. But the first secret will come to challenge this, to bring spirituality back to the center, to remind us that we are more than flesh and bones, more than ambitions and routines. This call to decision will not be gentle, it will be intense, relentless, inescapable. And the line that will divide humanity will not be visible, but it will be deeply felt. It will be a line of faith, of hope, of action. And when you find yourself before it, you will have to choose to cross over to the side of the light, or remain in the shadow of what once was. But here is the uncomfortable truth: the choice will be yours and yours alone. No one can decide for you. No explanation, no argument will be able to change what you decide. And your choice will define not only your present, but your future, your eternity. The first secret of Medjugorje is more than an event. It is a space that will reflect our souls, our intentions, our fears, and our hopes. When it is revealed, the line will be drawn. And the question that remains is, which side will you be on? Because that line does not wait, it is already forming now, as you read these words. You feel it. This is the moment to decide, not tomorrow, not when it is convenient, now. Because when the secret comes, it will be too late to hesitate. The first secret of Medjugorje will be more than a devastating event. It will be the final test of faith for a humanity that has long lost its way. There will be no excuses, no distractions, no easy paths to escape the truth. The truth that will be exposed will be the moment when each person will be confronted not only with the world around them, but with the world inside them. Imagine for a moment the chaos that will set in. Headlines will scream about the inexplicable. Political and religious leaders will desperately try to provide answers, while scientists will look for logic where it does not exist. Meanwhile, in the silence of millions of hearts, a battle will be fought, to believe or reject, to submit to the call of change or resist to the end. This will be the essence of the first secret. It will not be just about the visible events, but about the invisible transformation that it will demand. What has been announced for decades in Medjugorje is not a simple appeal to spirituality. It is an urgent warning, a last-ditch effort to redirect humanity before the abyss becomes unbridgeable. Friar Peter Ljubicic, who will be tasked with announcing the secrets, carries within himself the weight of a mission that few could bear. He will be the voice that will interrupt the silence. And when the announcement is made, the world will be counting down to something no one can ignore. 10 days, 10 days to pray, reflect, prepare. For some, it will be enough time. For others, it will be just another missed opportunity. 3 days before the event, the impact will begin to draw the words of the friar in the minds and hearts. They will not be just a warning, they will be an ultimatum. Many will despair, desperately seeking refuge, an answer, a way out. But the secret is not something we can avoid. It will come as planned, at the exact time, in the determined place. And when the moment comes, there will be no room for doubt. An event so clear, so unequivocal that even the most skeptical will be left speechless. But the question will no longer be about believing or not. It will be about how to react, how to change, how to find a purpose in the midst of chaos. Our Lady, since the beginning of the apparitions in Medjugorje, has repeated the same message: this is a time of grace. But grace is not eternal, it is a gift, an invitation, an opportunity. And the first secret will be the final limit of this invitation. After that, what will remain will be the consequence of the choices we have made. And that is the most difficult truth. Those who will not pass this test of faith will not fail because they were not warned, but because they chose to ignore it, because pride and disbelief override the obvious. There will be no room for regrets when the secret is fulfilled. The time has come for those who hear the call to allow themselves to change. The first secret will be more than an impact, it will be a rebirth. It will be the beginning of a path of redemption, of reconnection with what really matters. It will not be easy, but it will be necessary, because what is at stake is not only the present, but eternity. What is happening now, as you read these words, is the prelude to something much greater. The first secret is not just a warning, it is a test. And this test will demand everything from us: our courage, our faith, our humanity. When the moment comes, and it will come, it will be you who decides how to face it. It will be you who chooses to surrender to fear or rise with hope. Because in the end, this test of faith will not be about what happens in the world, but about what happens inside you. The clock is ticking, the secret is coming, and you need to decide now. Are you prepared for this test? When the first secret of Medjugorje is fulfilled, it will not be just a passing event. It will leave a legacy, an indelible mark on the history of humanity and on the soul of each person. It will not be something we will forget. It will not be something we can erase or ignore. It will redefine everything. This legacy will be felt in different ways. For some, it will be the confirmation of a truth they always believed in, proof that faith was more than a matter of choice, it was a living reality. For others, it will be an open wound, a painful reminder that they ignored the signs, that they missed the opportunity to prepare. The world after the first secret will be a world divided, not only by ideologies, beliefs, or circumstances, but by the way each person chose to react. This division will not be visible to the eyes, but will be felt in every interaction, in every community, in every act. It will be the difference between those who aligned themselves with the light and those who chose to remain in the darkness. The spiritual impact of the secret will be profound. It will not only force humanity to confront its flaws, but will also open doors to a new way of living, a renewed call to prayer, compassion, unity. But this call will not be heeded by all. There will be resistance. There will be those who seek rational explanations for the inexplicable, who will refuse to see the divine in what is happening. However, for those who accept the call, the first secret will be a unique opportunity, a chance to start over, to rebuild, to reconnect with what really matters. It will be like a clarion call that awakens sleeping souls, that rekindles faith in hearts that had long been hardened. But the legacy of the first secret will not only be spiritual, it will also be practical, tangible. It will change the way we relate to each other, how we see the world, how we choose to live our lives. The structures that once seemed unshakable will be questioned. The certainties that once sustained everyday life will be challenged. It will be a time of review, realignment, of preparation for what is yet to come. Because the first secret will not be the end, it will be just the beginning. The beginning of a series of events that will become increasingly intense, more inescapable. Each secret that follows will bring new challenges, new opportunities, and new choices. And the legacy of the first secret will be the foundation on which we will build our response to the next ones. There will also be a deeply human aspect to this legacy, the memory, the stories of those who witnessed the secret, who face its consequences, who chose to change their lives, will be passed on. They will become a living testimony, a source of inspiration and warning for future generations. But this legacy also carries a weight. It forces us to face the responsibility of our choices. Because the first secret, with all its strength, does not leave us as we were before. It demands a response, an action. It calls us to live with more intention, more purpose, more faith. And you who are here now are part of this legacy. You are not a passive spectator, you are an actor in this great drama that is unfolding before us. Your choices, your faith, your courage, all of this will contribute to what the first secret will represent for the world. What remains now is to prepare. Because when the first secret is revealed, the world will change forever, and the legacy it leaves will be both a burden and a gift, depending on how we choose to carry it. What will you do when the secret is fulfilled? What legacy will you leave? Because this is not just an event that happens to the world, it is an event that happens to you, and the way you react will be part of this story. We have reached the definitive moment when the first secret of Medjugorje will be revealed, and its impact felt by the whole of humanity. Each person will be faced with a single, unavoidable question: what will you do now? Because ultimately, the secret is not just about the world around us, it is about the world within us. What lies ahead will not be easy. It will be uncomfortable. It will be challenging, maybe even scary, but it will be necessary. We can no longer live as if everything were infinite, as if opportunities were eternal. The first secret will show us, without a shadow of a doubt, that the time for hesitation is over. This final choice will be deeply personal. It will not be about what others think, about what society decides, or what authorities say. It will be about you, about your faith, your actions, your purpose. It will be time to let go of superficiality and delve into what really matters. Imagine for a moment a world that has just witnessed something inexplicable, something that shakes all human certainties. You are in this world, surrounded by people trying to understand, trying to find meaning in this chaos. Your decision will become more important than ever. It won't be about what happened, but about what you will do because of it. Because that is the essence of the first secret. It doesn't come to destroy, but to rebuild. It doesn't come to punish, but to transform. And this transformation begins with a choice. The choice to resist the call, or accept it, to remain in the comfort of denial, or to take a step towards the truth, however challenging it may be. Our Lady has repeated in her messages that this is a time of grace, a time in which there is still a chance to change, to prepare, to reconcile with God, with others, and with oneself. But grace is not infinite. When the first secret is revealed, it will be the final line between the time of mercy and the time of consequences. This choice will not be easy. There will be doubts, fears, uncertainties, but there will also be hope. Because the secret, no matter how impactful it may be, also carries a promise. The promise that for those who hear the call, there will be redemption, there will be a new beginning. And this is where everything converges. The first secret is not just about prophetic events, it is about humanity, about who we are, about who we can become. It puts us in front of a mirror and forces us to face our flaws, but also our possibilities. It reminds us that despite everything, there is still time to choose the right path. But this choice is yours. It will not be something imposed. It will not be something you can delegate. You will be alone before the truth, and the way you respond will define not only what will come next, but who you will be from now on. When all is said and done, what will remain will be what you built, the choices you made, the faith you cultivated, the love you demonstrated. This will be your contribution to a world that is on the brink of an irreversible transformation. The first secret will be revealed, the impact will be felt, and then everything will depend on you, not on the world, not on others, on you. Now more than ever, time is short, the choice is clear, and the question is simple: what will you do? Because when the moment comes, there will be no more room for hesitation. It will be the end of doubts. It will be the beginning of something new. The transformation is coming, and you are part of it.